I've never watched the Internal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind 2004 movie with Jim Carrey and Kate Blanchett, directed by Michael Gondry, most specifically story and script by Michel Gondry and Charlie Kaufman. Charlie Kaufman of Adaptation. Have I never seen it before, or did I pay someone to erase it from my mind? I don't think so, because this a movie that I'm most of the way through, and I kind of turn to Jean and think, am I weird, or is this got to be the most romantic, sad movie that I've ever seen? This movie about guy who wakes up suddenly on a whim, goes to the beach and meets this woman, and she seems to be kind of drawn to him. He's like a little standoffish, and she's drawn to her, and he's kind of like, but she's drawn to him, and she starts talking to him, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna just go in and get, like, they spend time, a whole ton of time together, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go in and get my toothbrush, and I'll be right back. And a guy knocks on the things like, why are you here? What are you doing here? It's like, what do you mean? And he kind of just walks off. And then the credits roll well into the film, like 17 minutes into the film. And you slowly find out that um, they've known each other. They knew each other before for like 2 years or more, like had a long, deep relationship. Really, um, you know, enough that they became bored and angry at each other, to the point where she went to a kind of a really shady medical group and got them to erase him from her memory. And he's sort of so hurt and obsessed and can't get her out of mind. It just stopped his life, that he does the same. But in the midst of having his brain erased by these scuzzballs, truly deeply scuzzballs, wonderfully played by that guy at the beginning, by Elijah Woods, who uses his information to try and seduce Kate Winslet's character Clementine, um, and Mark Ruffalo and and Miss Spider-Man. Oh, what's her name? God, I can't even remember her name. And it's just like, um, they're really they're like horribly inappropriate, horribly invasive. You can tell how he kind of feels about this kind of organization that would like erase your memories. You're obviously, and it's sad memories when they're in the when Jim Carrey's character Joel is in the thing. It's like it's people who've obviously had loss, whether it's the loss of a pet, whether it's the loss of loved ones, or just horrible things. They're gonna, like, they're offering, we're just gonna blot it from your mind, um, and you can tell that these are the villains. These are the horribly unethical um, monsters of this movie, um, and and you see through Joel's struggles to try and hold on to Clementine. It's just sort of like the beauty, as they kind of, it's structured as they start at the very end of his memories and they slowly go back. So it's like you go from like kind of the angriness and bitterness of the end all the way to the kind of the beginning. And even in the beginning, there's a sort of seeds of Joel's shame and fear that gets in the way of the relationship. He runs away when she breaks into a house, and kind of a romantic thing, which, to be honest, I side with Joel on that. She's a slightly too manic pixie girl, dream girl for maybe a bit in the script. Kate Winslet does a lot to kind of ground the character as much as she can, but it's a movie about about loss, about the pain, the messiness of life, about how important it is to have all that pain and uh, and agony and just longing and regret, and how that so beautiful and makes you who you are, but also kind of fulfills you in a strange way. And indeed, this kind of weirdly romantic thing at the end is, yes, we're going to do it all over again, and we're going to be miserable again, but we're going to, it's sort of like, it's yes, we are. And it's something there. I mean, I think there's like longer version of scripts where they're just going to do it over and over again. They're going to erase over and over again, which I guess there is something in there of how memory works, of how you'll go through something and then you'll repeat it over again. Which is like your brain self-protectively makes you forget about the really negative, horrible parts to allow you to get back to the good parts again, even though that's gonna paradoxically push you back into the negative, the pain of a relationship again, because there's also the joy of a relationship again, that fulfillment. And yeah, I don't know if this is a deeply cynical film or a deeply romantic film. Probably the filmmakers are, at least I know Charlie Kaufman is probably more on the dyspeptic side. I don't know about Michael Gondry. And there is a thing here of him saying to Jim Carrey, who is apparently in a very depressive moment in his life, when they started talking about making the film. It's like, oh, you're so beautiful and broken at the moment. Don't get better, because this would be perfect for the film. Which is part of that is just the ruthlessness of an artist going, you are the perfect clay at this point for my art, which is kind of brutal, and kind of, wishing another human being to continue to be in pain so you can get your art is hard. As a viewer, all I can say is it's probably the best movie I've seen Jim Carrey or Kate Winslet in. And yeah, just gorgeous. It really makes you, like a lot of Charlie Kaufman stuff he's not interested in doing kind of the realism, the faux realism of a lot of Hollywood pictures. It's about the interior of a human's mind and making you feel that, being truly psychological in that sense, in a way that great film is. It's like you're filming the human mind, the human process. I'm not filming, physical scenes on a beach or whatever. Beautiful film, sad and romantic, and it's just a lovely fucked up couple, which I can see so much myself in, which it really calls to me that way. Especially Jim Carrey, as someone who's kind of Jim Carrey's Joel, of just being caught up in his own fear, and that holding him in place and holding him away from others, and giving into that wanting to just extinguish everything, while at the same time in the heart of that film fighting to hold on to it, fighting to sharpen it, to hold on to her, the source of his joy and his pain and his sorrow and his melancholy and his longing. Oh, beautiful film. All right, that's a gushy movie review of the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, which I'm going to have to now read that poem on this channel, which is a long one, so it'll be a long read, but I'll be doing that coming up, probably tomorrow, maybe, or videos later.